Hi, welcome to my monthly webinar series. So, today, this is a bit of a special session. I'm not going to talk about a project. Instead, today, the session will be about postgraduate study opportunities in Singapore, specifically talking about the graduate research opportunities at the Department of Information Systems and Analytics, National University of Singapore. So what I'll do is I will go through some of the common information, then open the floor for you to ask any question related to what I presented or any other questions you may have related to doing postgraduate studies overseas. Yeah, so allow me to go through some information. So basically, uh, the topics that I will cover today is I'll talk about why Singapore, why NUS, and then within NUS, why the Department of Information Systems and Analytics. In short form, we call it DISA, and the DISA PhD program structure. I'll show you some of the success stories of our former PhD students and talk about the scholarship program, what is it include, and talk through how you can apply, uh, and then we take questions. Right. So, why Singapore? Why NUS? Why DISA? Those who are not aware of Singapore, Singapore is a beautiful, vibrant country. This is just a quick video of the city area. It has come a long way from a fishing village in 1962 when it was became independent from Malaysia to what it is now. Just in a space of little over 50 years, it came from a third world fishing village to a really dynamic first world developed economy. Sorry. So it's a tiny dot in the world map. I think you won't even see that in a typical world map. It's just a very tiny. In fact, the size is, uh, if we take a comparison, I think Sri Lanka is about close to 65,000 square kilometers, and this is around 700. So it's a tiny bit. But we are pretty known for some of the really advanced the digital innovation, smart nation. You can see the various matrices. Singapore is doing really well in terms of having uh, uh, 4G speed, the fiber to home connectivity, the digital readiness, the innovative economy. So there's a lot of infrastructure that can help the research. Within Singapore, NUS is located in west of uh, Singapore, and we were founded 1905. So we are over 115 years. And these are a couple of pictures from the University of National University of Singapore. This is a little video. And it consists of amazing research facilities, great student life, and it's constantly evolving. I remember when I was undergrad 20 years ago versus now what it is. NUS is continuously evolving, continuously updating, both infrastructure wise as well as both in terms of research outputs. So just some stats about NUS. As I said, we are founded 1905. There are three campuses. Where I'm seated now is the main campus. There is another uh, campus focusing on public policy. And there's another one called the University Town. We have 17 faculties and schools. Across the university, there are about 4,000 plus subjects per every semester. Within the university, we have large scale research centers, 16 of them. And then university level research centers, there's 30 plus of them. And then small faculty level research centers, about 80 plus. And we have uh, over 2,600 professors, faculty members, students from over 100 countries. In terms of undergraduate population, we have close to 32,000, and then graduates over 12,000. Researchers like research fellows, research assistants, research engineers, 4,000 plus. So when you add up the numbers, we are a community of around 50,000 people. So that's a large research facility. This is just a map of the campus. Where we are located is somewhere down here, where my mouse is. Yeah, so we used to have two buildings, and now another brand new building is being built and just finished, and I'm lucky to have office in that building. You can see from the two left bottom pictures, though that's the new building that is built and about to be operational from this month. And these are some of the pictures of the spaces we have. And within the School of Computing, uh, we are almost 50 years old. There are two departments. One is the computer science department. The other one is where I'm located, the information systems and analytics. Within just the School of Computing alone, we have over 5,000 undergraduates and over 1,000 graduates. So we are within NUS, we are one of the largest schools. And in terms of world ranking, I don't know if many of you were aware of that. We are number 6 in the world uh, in terms of the best universities for computer science and information systems. There's only 5 universities ranked above us based on the QS World ranking. Uh, this should be 2022 ranking. MIT, Stanford, CMU, Berkeley, and Oxford. Those are the only 5 above us, and you can see hands down anywhere in Asia, Australia, New Zealand, including. There's nobody better than us in terms of excellence in research. And and that's reason is because we are doing pretty good research, and within the department we have some of the faculty members who are thought leaders in the field. You can see a couple of them uh, showcased in this slide. And our faculty members, the professors in the department, are coming from prestigious places such as CMU, EPFL, Stanford, Chicago. So it's a great uh, set of faculty members with diverse backgrounds. And then we have 6 key research areas within the department, and really it's focused on finding answers to some of the most critical problems. I'll quickly go through them. We have both technical aspect in terms of AI, machine learning, data science related, and also the social science aspect in terms of qualitative and quantitative research. So in terms of areas, one of the areas is the data science and business analytics area, where we look at things like the big data modeling, optimization, uh, ML and NLP for business purposes. We have a area on intelligent systems, where we look at AI, uh, into including the AI design, the policy, AI governance, AI models, and then AI systems for a commercial purpose and social impact. We have another area for digital transformation, which looks into open innovation, entrepreneurship, the digital capabilities, and future of work, that kind of things. We have a fintech focus. We look at crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, blockchain, crypto, uh, the digital payments. We have computational social science area, where we look at social well-being, large-scale field experiments, effective computing. And then finally, we have the healthcare uh, area, which looks at the telehealth, telemedicine, uh, and cybersecurity and data privacy for healthcare. So these are the 6 areas we have. And let's talk about the PhD program specifically, what it includes. So basically, our PhD program is a 4-year program. As you can see, each year there are 2 semesters. And first year, basically, you take modules. And year one, there are 8 modules that you take. And then following years, you take one elective, and but mostly going into your research and thesis. And finally, the last semester, you do your PhD defense. That includes the seminar, oral defense, and writing the thesis. So how this is structured is there are foundation subjects that you have to choose. There are 5 options, and you need to take 4 of that. That's the requirement to fulfill the department expectations. Then there is a seminar module that you need to take, and then there's electives that you can choose from. So that's where you can really leverage all the modules that's available at various departments. And out of these 6 modules, each module is 4 credits. So out of these 4 must be at PhD level, and 2 must be from School of Computing, which means you can even take modules from other schools as well. So the foundation modules are the quantitative, qualitative, uh, and theories of IS research, econometrics, and topics in ML and optimization. And they are very uh, generic, and they are helpful, which regardless of which specific project you will end up doing for your PhD, especially the qualitative, quantitative methods you will use one way or the other. And in terms of those electives, just to give you some example, you can either choose, as I said, choose from computer science, from business school, public policy, economics, psychology, communication and new media. So you get that really good breadth of knowledge. To get the PhD, the requirements is you clear that 4 foundation modules and 6 selectives, and then you get a minimum B grade, which is fairly doable unless you really don't do your work. And then you pass the end of the first year. There is a qualifying exam, which is your graduate research paper, and then you write your thesis proposal, which get examined, and then you do your doctoral seminar. And then finally, uh, in the last year, you write your thesis, get it examined, and then do a oral defense. And once you clear all these things, you get the PhD. uh, and then we get our students to really publish their work in some of the top conferences in our department. Some of the top conferences are the International Conference on Information Systems, the European Conference on Information Systems, Pacific Asia Conference on Information Systems, and Academy of Management. Just to show you that there is a good career prospect after getting a PhD. Just to show some of the previous students, you can see this is students who graduated 2010 and earlier. You can see them like around all over the place, and many of them are uh, faculty members. From professors to all the way to chair professors around the world. And some of the recent graduates who graduate after 2011, again, you can see most of them end up in various academic positions in really good places.
Hello, everyone.
Just to show some
Think back on
testimonials.
5 years in Henry's PhD program, I'm really thankful for all the professors who are really accommodating and patient. And I remember I always discussed with my advisor till 7, 8 p.m. when his family kept calling him for dinner. I also loved the superb research atmosphere at school. I remember we had spacious labs, and every day I turned off my computer very late at night I went past the corridor just to see the lights of the other labs still on. So I always got this feeling that I was never alone. We also had a lot of opportunities to communicate with our peers through seminars, through lab parties, and also the little roti prata shop nearby at late night. Until now, we have a very active social media group for anyways PhD students. We're still like a family. Um, I really miss my day at anyways, and I hope people have a chance to experience it.
So Yi Cheng is now associate professor at Tsinghua University, which is one of the top universities in the world.
Many thanks to my alma mater, the National University of Singapore, for inviting me to talk to you. I joined the Department of Information Systems as a PhD student in year 2000 and returned to Fudan in China.
So Zhang Cheng is a professor at Fudan now. Uh, and it's not only the academic professorships. Prasanta is now an innovation lead in the Institute of High Performance Computing. Oops. Let me go back and let's just play his testimonial.
Hi, this is Prashant Bhattacharya. I graduated with a PhD from the Department of Information Systems and Analytics in 2017. I have a lot of great memories of studying in the department, and there are many reasons why you should choose to do your PhD with the Department of Information Systems and Analytics at NUS. If I have to choose a couple of reasons, I would have to point out the extremely high quality of research that happens in the department and the very flexible and generous support that you have for doing your research, including visiting conferences and workshops all over the world. The other very exciting reason for choosing the department is the exposure that you would have to a truly multicultural environment where you get to study and learn from your peers who come from all over the world. And that's something that I personally really enjoyed and really benefited from. So having said that, I wish you all the best in your grad school journey, and I do hope that you have a lot of fun.
Yeah, so there's a lot of
Hello, everyone.
these testimonials. Uh, so that's the bit of from our alumni. In terms of PhD, usually the PhDs are there is a scholarship comes with PhD, uh, so that covers your full tuition. So basically, the entire tuition fee is waived off, and there'll be a monthly stipend that could range anywhere from Singapore dollar 2,000 to 3,000, depending on your qualification, nationality, uh, and it comes with expectation to do some compulsory teaching and research support. And then there's also financial supports and awards to present your work in conferences, awards when you do significant research achievements, uh, and then lastly there is a graduate tutorship that is only for Singaporean students. Yeah, so what do you need to do to uh, get to NUS? So the application and the admission requirements are there are two intakes per year. There is a intake in August next month, 15th. So for the August intake, the deadline is 15th December of the previous year, and the January intake, which is now next year Jan, if you are keen to apply, so that's already gone. 15th June was the deadline to start in Jan, and this talk is more targeting the August 2023 intake. So that means next year August intake, you need to apply by 15th December this year, and this gives you enough time. I think about 5 months to prepare. Uh, uh, this is for the international students, and if you happen to be a local, then the deadlines are, as you can see from the slides, much later. And usually once you apply, it will be reviewed by a committee, and then those who are shortlisted will be called for an interview, and after the interview they will make offers. Let's say again, if you're talking about 2023 August, you apply by December this year, and early next year around March you will get the offer. And the way to apply is online, and you go to this URL. uh, there you have all the information, and fill it up online. The requirements is obviously a good relevant bachelor's degree, at least second upper, unless you have a huge justification why you should be considered. Again, think of you're applying to world sixth best uh, computer science and information systems program. uh, you could have a relevant master's degree, but it's not absolutely required. There are people start their PhD with a good bachelor's. If you have prior research experience, that's good. You need to submit your GRE, GMAT, or TOEFL, IELTS, two recommendation letters at least, and then the website again has all these details. And for many of you, you might still have to do TOEFL or GRE, and from now till the application deadline, that gives you enough time to prepare and do that. Yeah, so as I said, most of this information is on our webpage. You can scan this QR code to go there. There is a general email that you can get more info. uh, Also, you can, if you email me for any specific questions, I can also uh, try and see if I can help out. Yeah, so that gives you a overview of our PhD program. And as I said, if you have any specific questions related to this program we have, or anything related to doing postgraduate studies overseas, I'm happy to take questions. Yeah, Upul is asking, is there an age barrier to be selected for a program? As far as I know, there's none. You saw that from the requirements, but it should make sense. Say, for example, if you had a good bachelor's degree and you have been doing relevant research and decided to do a PhD late in your life, that's fine. But let's say if you haven't been in the research for 10 years and suddenly want to start a PhD, then there should be a compelling reason as to why, as well as some evidence to show that there is a genuine interest and the fact that you will be able to survive. But it's not impossible, and there are people doing their PhDs after a significant gap. That's fine. uh, yeah, IELTS. So you need two types. One is as long as your medium of education is not English. That's the specific details are in the website. You need IELTS or TOEFL to showcase the language capability, and GRE or GMAT to show the aptitude test. Yeah, so you do need that. Hiroshi is asking, are there scholarships for master's degrees? Uh, Unfortunately, no. We used to have, but not anymore. Especially given the reputation of the university, the master's program has become very uh, uh, high demand, and in fact, it went the other way. So we generally don't have scholarship. In fact, the fees has gone up now. Master's degree generally, I think, if you can look this up on the web, but it's around $50,000 for a 1 year full-time master's, whereas PhDs are still on scholarship. Charles, what about master's degree in computer science? Yes, as I said, we have two departments: computer science, information systems. You can do masters in either one, but there are no scholarships, and the fees has gone up since this year. And full-time masters is around 50,000. You can do it part-time as well. Then the time will be doubled. So part-time masters might generally take about 2 years. The fees is the same, but generally there's no scholarships for that. Should we have a research idea always? Not necessarily. So as I said, for a PhD, all you need is the good bachelor's degree or master's, and your IELTS or TOEFL, GMAT, because first year you will be taking those subjects, by taking those subjects first, you will get much deeper understanding of the research methods. Then you will be working uh, for writing a little research paper yourself, and during that year you will get the chance to talk to many professors. Only after the first year you have to choose your supervisor. You may of course would have spoken to some faculty members before you apply, just to make sure that there are potential people you might be willing to work with, but you get formally assigned to a supervisor after the first year. So you don't need to have a PhD proposal research idea, but you might have a broader area of interest which you will write in your statement of purpose. uh, Torin is asking, could you please share some details of QE? So the QE now, what happens is, there's no written exam as such. What you do after the first year is you need to write a little report in the form of a research paper that talks about uh, what is the specific research uh, problem that you're working on, what is the theory behind it, what are the gaps based on the existing literature, and what kind of research are you proposing with specific methodologies details. You don't even need to have any results, but that problem formulation, positioning with relevance to prior work, and laying down a well thought research plan that's needed. So then you present that to a committee who will assess that and ask you questions, and then they give you a pass or fail. That's about it. When I was a PhD student here, we used to have a written exam, not anymore. uh, Dushan is asking, I didn't get involved in much research during bachelor's due to COVID lockdown. Do we need a strong research background in order to apply for scholarship? If so, what are the best methods to increase our research background after graduation? So I don't think there's expectation that you have done a huge amount of research with the bachelor's degree. Bachelor's degree does not have a lot of opportunities to do research and show research outcomes. What you need is a good bachelor's degree. As I show in the slides, you need to have a second upper or first class for your bachelor's. There's no specific requirement that you must have done research, but it should be from relevant. So let's say if you have a bachelor's degree from civil engineering and you apply for computer science, then it's not very clear whether you have the relevant background. So it's more about good bachelor's degree with a relevant uh, that is relevant to computer science. Parami is asking, I'm a fresh graduate with a food science and nutrition degree, but my undergraduate research was project, which is something combination with computer science. Do I have a chance to have an opportunity to do my postgraduate by computer science? So uh, it depends on your statement of purpose, how you can really showcase that you do have the background to, as I said uh, earlier, you need to clear these 6 plus 4 12 modules. So you need to show that you do have the basic training to do so. Otherwise, uh, you will struggle to clear the module requirement. It's not straightforward, but if you make a case that, okay, I have my bachelor's degree is food science, but I have done this work and I have done some, I don't know, independent work, and I'm capable of uh, doing computer science or PhD in School of Computing, then there might be a chance. So it's a two-stage. Firstly, in your statement of purpose, you need to showcase that, and your letters of recommendation should indicate this possibility, and the purpose of those should be to get you shortlisted for an interview. And during the interview, you have to really make a case. So I would say it's challenging, but it's not impossible. Yeah, second upper from a BSc with honors is the minimum requirement. So should be able. Then you of course have to supplement that with good recommendation, good SOP. SOP means statement of purpose. Irene is asking, what is the support from the university for entrepreneurship development? Oh yeah, a huge amount of support. If you search on the School of Computing, just within the school, there are various ways to support students. From I was involved in a program called it's called vacation internship program. I forgot the first one. It's called VIP program, which is basically you submit an idea, uh, and it doesn't need to be mature, but well thought of, and you get about 10,000 to develop that with mentorship. Uh, then there are lots of accelerator programs within the school. I'm just talking about not the university level, just within the school. There are a lot of accelerator program, seed funding, incubation spaces. Yeah, it's unbelievable the kind of support. In fact, even undergraduate level, every student, or rather no, every student has the opportunity to take entrepreneurship as an undergraduate class, because that's very important. And I'll be teaching that class in August, from how do you really take an idea to entrepreneurial venture, and all the basics from from product market fit to business models and pitching and funding and legal aspects, accounting, all of that. Yeah, so there's a lot of support from basic uh, uh, subject matter all the way to funding, incubation, uh, mentoring. Lakshita, what is the minimum GPA required for? So the admission wise, as I said, second upper or above. So the first class or second upper. Once you get in, for the subjects, you need to get a grade of B, which is here the GPA is out of 5. So you need to have a GPA of 3.5. That is during the PhD to clear the module requirement. To get in, it should be from wherever that you are getting your bachelor's degree from. You should get a second upper or first class. Can we claim PT academic? Nipuna, can you explain what do you mean by PT academic? Can we claim PT academic? What is PT? Can you explain? Okay, while waiting for Nipuna, Rukshala is asking, do we get an exception for if an exemption? I believe you're asking about, say, you may not have a second upper for your bachelor's, but you might have an excellent master's. That can compensate. Uh, I have seen cases like that. So then at least there might be a chance of getting into the interview stage, because they look at your latest. So if you have masters with your transcript showing the competency in the subjects, and you have a very good transcript, that could compensate for the bachelor's. Hiroshi, other than academic qualification, do they also consider work experience? Uh, the projects we did that are relevant to the path we are. Yeah. So as I said, so let's say you have the required bachelor's degree, optionally a master's, and this research experience is preferred. You probably have seen my slide that said research experience is preferred. So although it's not absolutely expected, suppose if you had published a paper during your bachelor's degree, or you had been doing work related to research, and has done some uh, outputs, or even just the work research related, if you can articulate that them, those are additional preferred things. And then of course when you are competing for limited scholarships, then that position you much better than someone probably doesn't have any research experience. Irendra is asking, do computational drug discovery and bioinformatics studies conducting under the School of Computing, or is it belong to the? So these are specific application areas. I think depending on how you craft your research question. It may be a computer science related PhD, or it could be information systems related PhD, depending on how you craft. Uh, Say somebody might look at the AI aspect, developing a new AI algorithm for drug discovery. That may be a more of a CS PhD. Somebody might look at the how uh, we should think about uh, the, the AI, or how do you leverage AI models uh, to facilitate the drug discovery model, or how those things impact the drug discovery model and the, the practice implications. That may be IS question. So I don't think it's restricted by which application. It's more of how you craft the research question. So this is Singapore a good country for software engineers to live? There are many opportunities for them. Of course, I mean, I've been here since 2000, so 20 plus years. Software engineering, as far as I know, uh, there's a demand. Obviously, you need to be a really good software engineer. If so, I was told that there are significant opportunities, and with really good remuneration, really good salaries, and Singapore is a, I would say, for me personally, Singapore is really good place to live, given how systematic the whole setup, the cleanliness, the sense of uh, security, the convenience. I've been in places. I've spent some time in US couple of years, in UK about half a year, New Zealand about 4 plus years, and here probably about 16 years. Hands down, to me, it's very hard to beat overall what Singapore has to offer. It's hard to get in, and very hard to get residency, very hard to get citizenship. But if you do, it's just amazing place. Rukshila is asking, I mean, do we have have to still do modules which you mentioned, even if you have done a master? Yes, yes, of course. So these uh, top universities, they would take your masters as a entry requirement, but doesn't uh, give you module exceptions. You have to do same in MIT. You can go with 10 masters, they'll still make you do their masters, and that's how these uh, top universities operate. It's hard to replace their program with the existing sort of qualifications you have. Those will help you to get in and get a good scholarship, but you can't use them to get exceptions from the modules, unless of course you have done a master's in NUS itself. Then you can, if you transfer from that to a PhD, then some of the courses can be waived off. Otherwise, generally no. There was someone asked a question, I think it was Nipuna, with acronym PTE. I wasn't sure what is PTE means. If you're still around, you can ask that question once again. Okay, Rendra is asking, which type of PhD program is more suitable for someone who is expecting to start his own venture? An academic PhD or an industrial PhD? There's no academic PhD. As far as I know, there's no such thing called academic PhD and industrial PhD. There's only one type of PhD, which is pretty much offered by the university. What you can have is PhD sponsored by your sponsorship of the PhD may come from industry. You might be working and doing your PhD part time. Uh, that's fine. Uh, so the question there would be, how much time you want to dedicate for your PhD, whether you want to do it part time while working for an industry, or whether you want a sponsorship from an industry, which means they might also give you some restrictions on the topic, because they might want you to do a topic of their interest. Some people do a PhD with scholarship, but then focus on doing more applied research and try and align their PhD so that upon graduation or maybe towards the latter part, they spin off their PhD work as a entrepreneurial venture. So there's no such thing called industrial PhD. It's where your money support comes from, whether it's a university's general scholarship or it's an industry funded program, and whether it's a part time or full time, and then whether you want to focus on more uh, basic research or applied research. Any more questions? Nipuna, do you want to repost that question you asked earlier? Okay, Shashikala is asking, I'm a second law undergraduate and following a master's. Now I have 1 year more to complete that. With that condition, can I be eligible? So in your case, I think given that your undergraduate is second lower, your best bet is to complete the masters with really good results and see if you can compensate. If I were to be very honest, I think the chances will be quite low if you apply with a ongoing masters with a second lower, especially at the School of Computing at NUS for a scholarship. That will be a challenge. Do we have any last questions? As I said, you can always contact me through Suranga at ahlab.org for specific questions. And also, if you want to look at the research that I am doing, and if you want to have a chat about possible PhD, you can look at www.ahlab.org for the kind of research we do. And then I will post on Facebook. I think the post on Facebook has the link to the NUS Information Systems PhD program, and there you can find all the general admission requirements, and most of the things I said are there on the web page. Okay, so just before we finish, Iren is asking, do GRA and IELTS both required for the application? As far as I know, yes. But depending on your specific circumstances, you can write to the office and ask, say, for example, depending on where you did your bachelor's degree, they might give you an exemption on IELTS. But generally speaking, you need both. Yeah, so with that, I guess we can conclude the session. Uh, you can follow up through my web page or write to me directly, or go to the link that is in this post on Facebook and find all the information needed from there. Yeah, good luck with application, and hopefully I'll do another session next month as well. So when you start actually digging deep, you might have more specific questions. You can come back then as well, and also tell others who you think might be keen. Thank you. Yeah, see you again next month. Bye bye.